All right, everyone. This is a quick little overview of magicschool.ai. And so I'm going to go ahead and walk you through some of the things that it can do for you as a teacher, some of the really cool things that AI can help you with, including assessments and coming up with academic content and lesson plans and just lots of really cool things. Magicschool.ai is free as far as at this point. Let's see, February 5th, 2024. As of now, it is free. There is a upgraded plan you can do. There's also, I think, like a plan for schools that you can sign up for, but you're going to just click sign up for free. I just used my personal email for this, so that way I could save some of my resources and have those backed up and keep those in case, if I went somewhere else or anything. So right now, though, I'm just going to go ahead and click login because I already have an account. Once you have your account, you're going to come to a screen that should look something like this. There's some things on the left-hand side too, even some training resources and all of the magic tools, which are right here. I did favorite some of them, so they're going to show up at the top because I just starred them, but there are tons of different resources here. These are like the most popular ones, and you can just click on the star to favorite it. We're going to start with multiple choice assessments, and I'll just kind of show you a few different ones, and then this is the kind of tool where you really just have to go in and explore on your own and see how it's going to apply for your content area. So multiple choice assessments, if you're doing any kind of multiple choice test or quiz, this is awesome because you can even set the grade level. So, I teach 9th through 12th grade, whatever grade you teach, you can set it for that. So I'll just say, 8th grade for now. I can say how many questions I want to 20, and then I can give it some kind of standard or topic. So I teach graphic design and digital art. We'll just say photo editing using Photoshop. And you can be even more, specific, but I'll go ahead and click generate. All right. And then it should come up with some questions. Here we go. All right. So just some basic questions. So I really love this because it saves me some time. It gets me thinking about what kind of questions I may want to ask on an assessment. I may not use all of these, but at least it gives me a place where I know I can start. And it helps me kind of do some backwards planning as well when I'm doing my lesson planning. So here we have, what is the purpose of using Photoshop and photo editing, and which tools? So you can kind of go through and see, but it's awesome. So like even getting me thinking about, different file types and things. So, and then it does give you an answer key, which is always nice as well. And I've used this when I have a sub too, so they don't have to, worry about making sure answers are correct or anything. There we go. Multiple choice assessments, lesson plan, which is similar to the unit plan generator. I have also used this. Now I don't, have formal lesson plans every day, but this is great for if you ever need to come up with a formal lesson plan and have it written out very formally, or if you're just trying to get some ideas. So once again, choose your grade level. Maybe I need like kindergarten, and the topic is going to be, I don't know, we'll say, rainforest animals. Okay. And then criteria. So this is where you can give it some additional stuff that you may want, like have lesson include group work. We'll just say, we'll do a little bit with, this is probably above kindergarten level, but geography. There we go. And then you can insert your standards there, which is also kind of nice. Click generate. And then it should pop up here in just a minute. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. Here we are. So objectives. Students will be able to identify and describe different types of animals found in the rainforest. And then your assessment. It even gives you ideas for what kind of assessments you can do, key points or essential questions. Opening. I mean, there's some really cool stuff. I know personally, I would have loved this back when I had to come up with my 200 lesson plans doing my student teaching or whatever. And then it gives you these standards here too, which is also awesome. Another one is YouTube video questions, and I'm going to go into that one. We're going to go back here. Collapse that down. So YouTube video questions. I use this one a lot because I like to find good, relevant videos that part of a lesson. So you can choose your grade level, you choose your number of questions, up to 10, I believe, is what you can do, whether you want free response, multiple choice, or true false, and then you can enter your video. Now, it's not going to work with all videos, but I can show you with this one. This is all about the painting of the wave of Kanagawa, and you'll paste the YouTube link here. I can click, and it'll say transcript loaded. As long as the transcript is loaded correctly, you shouldn't have any major issues. Click generate. And then I said 3 questions, multiple choice, and it's going to go through that transcript and come up with questions based on it. So sometimes the questions they're not the greatest because, again, it's AI. It's not perfect. But sometimes you get some really good questions that I maybe wouldn't have come up with. So here we have, what is the actual title of the piece, The Great Wave by Hokusai? Why did Japan isolate itself from the rest of the world for about 200 years? Like, these are pretty good questions that I think are relevant to the video. And that was just a 3-minute video, or 8-minute video, I should say. It won't work with super long videos or videos that do not have a transcript. So it won't work with everything. You kind of have to trial and error that one, but it's great when you're trying to come up with some questions you could just put into Google Forms. So I'll usually just copy this over and put it in there. If you want to save a lot of things, oftentimes it'll require you to upgrade. So that's the paywall there. But this is not difficult to click and drag and just say Control-C on the keyboard and copy them. All right, so that was YouTube questions. I wanted to show you Jeopardy, and I won't spend a ton of time going through how to do this, but when you go into the Jeopardy creator, I think I have it on here. Maybe I left it down here. Anyways, there's a lesson Jeopardy creator, which I love, and you enter in your categories. So here is all related to Photoshop and photo editing. I can copy all of this over into a Google Slides, and then all of the questions here. This is all related to composition and photography, history of photography. Saved me a ton of time. This is also great for coming up with questions related to Kahoots. So if you wanted to just figure out some questions that you could ask on a Kahoot, this is also a great resource. Scroll back up. Text rewriter. Take any text and rewrite it. So if I find an article, for example, I'll just do article on history of photography. I keep using that as my example, but you can apply it to what you're looking for. I don't know. I should have had an article ready to go and I didn't, but that's okay. That might work. All right, so you're going to paste the text. This is just kind of like a timeline. This may or may not make sense. You know what? Let's go do a different one. Here we go. This might work. Maybe, maybe not. Let's just say article. We'll just see what happens with article. Let's do article rainforest animals. Bear with me. I'll edit this part out later. All right. Slow internet today. Okay, so from here I can copy the text. Just copy all of it for the most part. I don't want to include anything non-relevant. Say Control-C, go in here, do Control-V. And now I can say my criteria, I want it to be shorter. I want it to focus on certain details. Let's just say simplify language. Let's see what happens here. Now there's another function of Magic School where it lets you actually level it. So you can say, hey, bring this down to a kindergarten level or 8th grade or whatever, right? So if you're a reading teacher, that's also really useful. Or if you're teaching ML students, that's very, very useful for making sure you're giving students text that they can understand, but also still challenges them, which is important. So here it just simplified it for me, kind of put it under different categories, simplified the language. Pretty cool. So that was text rewriter. Rubric generator, super fun. You use AI to generate a rubric. I won't go through all of that. Informational text is kind of crazy. It's interesting. I've used it a couple times. I haven't used it a whole lot. because it just kind of blows my mind a little bit. But here you can tell it what kind of text you want it to be. So very useful if you're trying to teach different types of text. So we'll just say literary nonfiction for now. Give it a length. You could do up to 3 pages. And then here I could say, what the topic I want to be. And again, you want to be specific for this. Otherwise, it'll start pulling things that may not make sense. So for this, let's just say rainforest, geography, animals. Actually, we'll say rainforest animals, just to be more specific. Rainforest anthropology. We'll leave it at that. Let's see what happens. And this is going, let's say 2 pages, generate. Let's see what happens. So essentially it's going to write an article or information for you that's going to pull from different resources. Again, take it with a grain of salt, read through it, make sure it makes sense. Because I've seen a couple things where it's like, I don't know, that's kind of questionable. But it's super cool if you're looking for a resource and you're just not finding it out there. This is a great way to just compile information and give a reading to your class, even though it's not necessarily like from a website, right? So here we have exploring the richness of rainforests. Talks about ecosystems, geography, the animals. It lists some of the big key animals, anthropology, conclusion. Okay, so some really cool information. And then you can unlock features to do extra things. So like different questions and things and saving again. But you can also edit it if you want to, which I also like. So you can go in and be like, oh, wait, I need to change that or do something different. Okay, go back. Text leveler is what I was talking about with, entering that text and then giving it or simplifying it based on the level you're trying to get it at. So I'm going to paste that article again. Let's go to kindergarten and generate. Let's see what happens with this. So again, sometimes it works really well. Other times, a little bit. Oh, this is good. Not too bad. Okay. So it took that text and it really just crushed it down to some basic key concepts, right? Tropical rainforests are very old and have lots of different plants and animals, right? Okay. Very, very useful for leveling your text. And a quick way to do that is the text leveler. Unit plan generator, I've used that a couple times here just to come up with ideas for plans for lessons. I'm going to go in, we'll say 5th grade. I'm going to say 5 school days. And I don't know all the standards for 5th grade. But let's just say our unit is going to be about, colonialism. We'll say settlers, American settlers, indigenous, I cannot spell today, indigenous groups of North America. I don't know. Context, students are learning about early American history. That's optional. And then your standards. Let's just see what happens here. Generate. Again, great for ideas. I don't necessarily use this for everything and copying everything, but it's like, oh man, that's a great idea. It comes up with some interesting things that I would never have thought of otherwise. Awesome. Okay. So here it is. Colonialism, American settlers, indigenous groups in North America, unit plan. So a lot of subjects here, but like introduction to colonialism. What does that mean? European settlers in North America, indigenous groups in North America, conflicts and alliances, legacy of colonialism, culminating activities. So here it gives you some ideas of things you could have kids do in class related to those lessons, basically, right? And then assessments, they create a poster, infographic highlighting the unique aspects of a specific indigenous group. Just so cool. All right, we'll go back, almost done here. Text proofreader, this is great if you, and there are lots of proofreaders out there, but I like that it's all just in one place here. Magic School is great for that. Once a student submits any kind of typed out document, you can just grab it, put it in here, and it will proofread it for you, which is wonderful. It'll also make sure, it's clear, they're using correct grammar, all that good stuff. Vocabulary list, it'll generate vocab words based on your subject, your topic, or your text. Very, very useful. And then one of my favorites actually is make it relevant. This is a really cool idea and super useful for teaching specific groups of students. So let's say you have a class who is just really obsessed with a musical artist. You can try and use this to tie that in. So here we go. We're going to say our topic is photography. I'll give my grade level. It's to ninth grade. What we're teaching. Let's just say photography techniques. Here we go. And then it says describe your students. So this is where you can like pull in their interests. So I could say, I don't know, we'll say they love TikTok. I don't know, videos. They like Taylor Swift. What else? I'm blanking. Starbucks. I don't know, whatever. These are all kind of stereotypical, but that's fine. We're going to pull it up. Now, again, these may be great or they can be questionable. Either way, it's still worth it to try it out and see, if it gives you some ideas on how to make your teaching more relevant to the kids in your class. Here we go. Creating TikTok style photography. It's going to give you some ideas, a description, visual style of TikTok videos applied to photography. You're going to do a video analysis, photography composition, the challenge, digital editing, share and discuss. Super cool. Here's a Taylor Swift photo album. So understand the power of storytelling through photography. Learn to capture and edit photographs that convey emotions and narratives. Appreciate the role of music and artists like Taylor Swift in inspiring creative processes. Like, how cool is that? I think that's so cool. So it's really, really useful for getting students to, getting ideas for students to do projects and meet requirements in ways that are a little more engaging maybe for them. I wouldn't say, it's for everything, but if I'm really stuck on like, hey, how can I make this project more interesting? Because that happens a lot. This is really, really useful for that, kind of breaking out of that. And there are so many more amazing things, chat bots, generating questions for different things, IEP generators. There's even like a song generator. I could choose a song and say, hey, write a song about this. If I really wanted to like get on stage and sing it, which I would not, but if you are into that, great. Professional email. If you're trying to come up with, maybe you're just swearing to yourself, you're whatever, you need to come up with something that sounds professional. Professional email. Translator, take it with a grain of salt, but if you need to translate something, otherwise I don't use that one very often. But so many of these, some of you are going to find like if you're teaching math, this makes more sense, or if you're teaching language arts, English, that makes more sense. Group work generator, letter of recommendation. I've used that to kind of like guide my letters of recommendation for certain students. Social stories. I mean, so many different amazing tools here that are going to help you out. Oh, yeah. Coaches sports practice. If you're a coach, like, holy cow. Scaffolding. Just super amazing things that are going to save you time. And that's what they're for. They're for saving time, making your lessons more exciting, more engaging. All of this is easy, right? You don't even really have to know exactly how it works in order for it to work for you. The other cool thing I like about this is it gives you your output history. So if I accidentally clicked out or I want to go back and look at something I did before, I can then click on it and look through and, just use it if I need to. There are some limitations. So the upgrading button here will show you that. So this is for users who want to use it, just on their own. It's $8.33 a month, so it is kind of pricey. And then there is the for school district enterprise program. The school can actually apply. I don't know the exact pricing, but if the school is willing to do that, then it would be a great resource for that. It shows you all of the different things. There's 60 plus tools. This says unlimited. You have somewhat limited options with the tools, but I haven't even run into issues with that yet. The different Chrome extensions, which for us doesn't really mean anything, integrations, all of that doesn't mean much, but it does talk about FERPA compliance and everything too. And then it does say usage will only be limited or will be unlimited for one person per account. It will only be limited if account sharing is suspected in other extreme cases, which I don't share my account anyways. Lots of information about what Magic School is, how is it still free, how does it compare to other pricing, like other similar ones like ChatGPT Plus. I just think Magic School is great because it's very tailored to teachers, and there are just so many cool options. Right. So I'm going to leave it at that. This is the kind of thing where you really got to just dive into it and see what you can do and have some fun with it. See if it's relevant for your content area and what you're trying to achieve, and have some fun with it.